What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? This is Muscle, and this is another Two Line Music Hut's Entertainment Report podcast. And today we have a really special guest in the building. Listen, this man is the only surviving member of one of Jamaica's greatest trio. We're talking about Mr. Judge from the Mighty Diamonds. How you doing, big boss?
Well, I'm just hanging in there, trying to get over this tragedy.
All right. Before we even get into what brought us here today and everything, I really want to go through the journey to see how we even got here in the first place. All right. So, my first question for you is this: where did you grow up in Jamaica and what type of child were you?
Well, I grew up I was born in Jubilee Hospital in Kingston, and I grew up in the ghettos of Trenchtown.
And what type of child were you growing up in Trenchtown?
Well, I was from not a rich background, poor, humble people, but they tried their best. They went to school, learn all I could. I won my scholarship when I was 9 years old, and I started attending college. But even though we were in the ghettos where things is not that easy, and we tried our best. My parents tried their best to do what they could. Yeah.
Trenchtown, the music city.
Yeah.
Okay. And when did you actually discover music? Was it something you seen around, something you heard in house? When did you actually start to discover your love for music?
Well, from I was growing up a youngster, I always loved music, but I didn't see that time to be something used like professionally.
Mhm.
Because at one time, Tabby and Bonner were at the same school, Boys Town. We didn't collaborate with each other at school. As I am the eldest of the group,
Mhm.
I was in sixth class, Bonner was in fifth class, and Tabby was in second class. But we all lived in the same area, Trenchtown.
Okay. And who were some other musical acts that you remember seeing around Trenchtown at that time there?
Well, you got people like Bob Marley and the Wailers, you have Toots and the Metals, you have Rape Tunes, and a couple other people. But what really happened is that enough people say things, and I hear they say a lot of things, and then they don't even know what was what, because you see him Toots.
Mhm.
When Toots came from country, Toots came to Trenchtown and lived there. And Toots started playing music, walking with his guitar, playing music. And everywhere Toots went, I was right there with him, walking up and down with him because I love the music. And then a later time, we started rehearsing in Toots' yard in Trenchtown.
From there, so even now you're with Toots and everything, he's around. So even you said that you were in school, you won a scholarship when you're 9 and stuff. What were you in school? What did you think you were going to become when you were in school? What did you want to become at that time there?
Well, my passion was to become a doctor.
Okay.
And I still love the profession.
Mhm.
Because I study a lot about medical things. So I wanted was to be a doctor, but unfortunately, my parents at the time couldn't afford. So I had was to just let it be.
So then when you were finished school, did you actually start working somewhere or you just went straight into music after you finished school?
No, I didn't went straight into music. When I was young coming up, what really happened, as a young man coming up, 16, 17 coming up, and he had girlfriends and thing. And then girlfriend got pregnant. Then I noticed now there comes the responsibilities and thing. I joined the army.
Okay.
And then after I joined the army, I was told that police get better pay. So I switched and I went over to the police force. I spent 3 years with the army and 7 years with police.
This was before you got into music or while you were in music, you're doing police and music?
Well, before I got into music, eventually I was in the army. Then when I went and then I started rehearsing with Bonnie and Tabby, went over to police. Even when I was a police, we were singing it tunes, like Right Time and those tunes.
You were police at that time there?
Yes.
Never knew that, boss. Okay, so even before that, okay, so then you're police. So then now when you said, okay, you're police, when did you actually decide to start venturing more into music then?
When I was working there, station at the Harman Barracks, I used to sing at the time before we make a tune. And they were teasing me, say, better go do government work and stop talking. So I said, okay, I'm going to make a hit tune, you know?
Mhm.
And after I made the hit tune, then that's when we started doing tours and things, and that's when I branched away from the police work. And everybody in the group, they branch away from their work also, because Bonnie was a welder by trade, and Tabby also.
Okay, so how did you guys even decide to be a group? Because you said you guys went to school together. So then when did you guys decide to make this group here?
Well, it's after leaving school, and we were there. I used to be up and down because it was a 3-man group era, you know? So I was looking for 2 more persons to sing with. And I went through a lot of people and I didn't choose any because I didn't hear what I wanted. Actually, Bonnie and Tabby, they went through the same people themselves, they didn't see anything. So it's that night now, it was, don't remember the exact date, but it was December 1969 on a street called 10th Street in Frenchtown, where I was speaking with a girl named Maggie. And there was Bonnie coming down the road. He was coming from another rear shop. And Tabby was coming up the road. And I was watching. They stopped and they spoke to each other. And then they turned and went inside a yard. That yard was one of our Virgin named Junior.
Mm.
So when I see that, I knew they were going to start singing. And they were going to play music. So I told the girl, excuse me, I soon be back. And I went towards the yard. As soon as I went inside and I approached them, they were in a room sitting down. Then as I reached up to the door, Bonnie stretched me the guitar and said, hold already. And we started singing. So it sounded good. It was a tune from the Intruders called 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 Years of Love.
Mm.
So it sounded good and we decided to say, well, all right, we can start something from here in a group and things. So we actually started singing. We rehearsed for 3 years before we seek an audition. But meanwhile, we were all over the place doing talent shows and all them things. And we were always winning the shows, So we realized we had something good there. So we continue with it.
What was your name when you guys first came together as a group?
When we first started working together as a group, we had the name the Limelights.
How did you guys come up with that there?
Well, actually, the name Limelights, like that name sounds like something out there, You want to be in the limelight, you want to be in the thick of things. And so we choose that name. But that name didn't rest there because after a little while, we started recording. We actually recorded the first tune for Stranger Cole, which was Tabby's brother-in-law at the time.
Okay.
So it was a tune called Oh No Baby, which I had written.
Mhm.
So we decided that we would want another name. So Tabby went to his mother and asked her, said, can you give me a name for the group? And she said to him, okay, call it Diamond. So we actually sit with the Diamond. So when we went to Channel 1 and started recording the hits now, they add the Mighty to it.
That's where they added the Mighty. Because I think that same first song you're talking about that you guys recorded for Stranger Cole, on the record, was it Tabby and the Diamonds?
Right, that's what they labeled it. But the group was just the Diamond.
Mm-hmm. At that time there. Before we even go too far, your name Judge. How did you get your name Judge?
Well, it is from I was a little youth coming up. I am not a man with that smiling face. So most time people see me, they think, oh, that man looks serious. And, but from I was a baby. So I got the nickname Judge. So I look serious like a judge. But it's not like that. It's just that I don't have that smiling face. But if you deal with me, you will find me a different person.
Mhm. To tell you the truth, I knew when I asked the question, almost 100% that was the answer, but I said I had to ask anyhow. Even with Bunny and Tabby, do you know how they got their names also?
Well, Bunny, they call him Bunny, like Bunny Rabbit, you know? Because he was a man, they were the person who loved to smile more than me and big. And Bunny, you know, he had this look like a bunny rabbit. And Tabby, though, like Tabby the cat.
Mhm.
You know, he's just quiet and, you know,
Mhm.
so they call him Tabby.
Got you. Good information there. So even there was something I heard you mention a couple of times that Tabby passed you the guitar and said, play a rhythm, and you also wrote a song. How do you learn to play the guitar, and how did you even know you could write music?
Well, actually, I'm left-handed, and guitar, the guitars are always string up for a right-handed person, but that didn't hold me back. I play it left-handed. So all for people even didn't really understand that, but I did it. You know, so I actually, when we make tunes, I was the man who played the guitar for us to rehearse. I don't know if you notice a video that they played on in Channel One where three of us were sitting down singing to a long time.
Of course, yeah,
And I
famous,
was playing
famous
the
video.
guitar, yeah.
Mhm.
Mm.
And where did you learn to play the guitar? Because one thing whenever you speak to people from Trenchtown, especially in that era, everybody wanted a guitar, guitar, guitar. How
Yes,
did you learn
because you
to
know
play?
what? You know what? In those times, you know, you didn't have enough money, and a guitar was the only thing we could afford. You know, the only cheapest instrument we could afford. So every man got a guitar. Now, actually, how I learned to play the guitar, I was taught by um one of my friend called Baga, Earl Walker, his name. I think he's deceased now, but he learned me to play the guitar, and he was a man who was self-taught, you know.
Okay.
Nobody teach him to play, and he play even the bass and all those things. Because he played on a lot of tune, even Dennis Brown, No Man's an Island. Baga played bass line on those tunes. I also played the bass line on the Diamonds tune long time. You know, the same tune that we were playing in the studio channel one with I playing the guitar. I was the man who played the bass in studio on that tune.
Okay. From there, and even writing, because you said you wrote songs. How did you learn to write music, and how did you know you could actually write a song?
Well, I didn't even know I could write a song. I mean, like lyrics. That actually came from God Himself. Because not even when I was writing certain songs, I didn't even know how it came about. The inspiration just keep on coming, and I keep on writing. But the thing is this: it's not every day or every time you get the inspiration. So when you get it, you just got it, you know. And it's not every day. So actually, I wrote the lyrics, set them to melody, arrange them, and then the group meet. We rehearse and we sing the tunes to Tabby. Tabby learn them and then he sing the lead. Actually, when this group just formed, I was the lead man.
You were the
But
lead.
I discover like when me and Bunny sing harmonies, when Tabby singing lead, it has a certain sound. And I say, yes, this is the sound that I want to portray. So I step back and tell Tabby, say, okay, you lead the group. I will sing harmonies with Bunny. I never even tell him that. It's about 5 years ago I told him that. That's why I did that. And he didn't even understand, you know.
Mhm.
But that's how it is. So I was the man who really got the music at times, and I went home, fit lyrics to rhythms.
Mhm.
Actually, we were one of the first people who started doing that. And you would think that we were in the studio same time when the music was being made, but it's not like that. I had even right time on those tunes. When those tunes were being laid by Sly and the Revolutionaries, we were not nowhere near the studio.
You were in the wrong. Okay, we're gonna get there just now. We're not ready for that channel one because that's a big part of your journey right there. So even now, the first song you guys said you recorded the first song for Stranger Cole,
Yes.
and how did that do for you guys' career as a group at that time there?
Well, that didn't do anything because when you record a tune, Actually, Stranger Cole didn't really have money to promote the tune because in those days, you really have to have money to spend to get the tune played and get promoted. So he didn't have money for that. So we went to Rupee Edwards at Orange Street. Rupee Edwards now was a big time producer. So we auditioned for him and he accepted us. So we recorded this tune called Girl You're Too Young. So that was the first tune started playing for us on the radio.
Mhm.
We didn't even know we were to get paid for anything like that. So all we wanted was to do was to record a tune. He had his radio program on Fridays. So we anywhere we are, we was slow on Fridays at about 7 o'clock to hear the tune played. You know?
It was just the excitement of hearing the song playing.
Right. And the love for the music, yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right. So then where do you guys go next after? Because now you guys have 2 recorded songs under your belt. What was next for the group now?
Well, next for the group, we still was pressing on recording because we don't get that tune yet. So we went to Derek Harriott. At the time, Derek Harriott had chosen few who was making a lot of hits. When we auditioned for Derek, I don't know what he heard, but he didn't want to clash at his place with me and chosen few. So he took us to Dynamic Sounds, where we recorded a tune called Mashup.
And how did Mashup do for you guys now?
Mashup didn't do well either. so
third one.
We went to Jalides now, who's Pat Francis. He's deceased now. Mm-hmm. And we recorded a tune for him called Shame and Pride.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Shame and Pride made a little noise, Diamond started to be recognized slightly locally in Jamaica. So started playing, but still it wasn't there yet. So actually we spent about 4 years, 5 years at the time. And we said, boy, I don't look like we're going to make a tune. We decided to leave the business.
Okay.
So we had some tapes. Mm-hmm. And we went to Channel 1, that's the China people and now. Mm-hmm. And we spoke with Joseph Okim and told him what was going on and said, boy, we can't make no tune, so we have this tape where I like sell it to you if you want to buy it, And say, yeah, so you one of the man I hear about with the Shame and Pride. So I say, yeah, we buy the tape still, but I want to record some song for me still. I say, okay, so we went into the studio and we did the first session for him. Mm-hmm. We did some cover. We did like Country Living,
yes,
Hey Girl, and Stone Out of My Mind. Mm-hmm. So Country Living took off in England. Our version, our style, were from the stylistic. It made a name there. So from that, we can go to England and don't do that tune. So actually, we went back into the studio, Channel 1 Studios. That is when Sliding made all those rhythms. Right Time Rhythm, Roof Rhythm, and Never Love Poor Marcus, all of them. So actually, I went to Jojo give me the cassette with all those rhythms. It was 10 rhythms. Mm-hmm. And I actually wrote 7 songs on the Right Time album. And then Ian Bunny did collaborate and did the other 3. Mm-hmm. And the Right Time album now, when we sing Right Time, when that started to play, instantly that became my hit show.
This was Right Time was your first hit song as a group?
First one. Yes.
Okay, before we even I'm going to keep Right Time in my mind, but this is what I want to know, because you said you went to Jojo to go sell him the music that you guys had recorded earlier. So then you guys just figured, okay, if you guys have 5 songs or whatever was on the tape, that you sell it to him for whatever price and that's it. You don't make back any more money after that. That's what you guys figured at that time there?
Oh, well, he didn't actually buy the tape. He just told us that. But after we start singing there and then second session we did it tune, didn't even buy the tape again, all them things. We start making it tune and started traveling out, going on tours.
Mm-hmm. So when Right Time came out now, How did you guys know that, okay, this is a hit right here? Was it like you heard it all over the radio? It was in dance. How did you know this was the big song right now?
No, well, what really happened, when we did the album in those days, you don't even get advance, nothing from the producer. What you did, you just did the song and leave it with the producer to do whatever to really get it up. What our promotion really came from the dance hall and not really the radio of such.
Mm-hmm.
Dance hall, when the dance was very popular in Jamaica, the sound system called King Attorney.
Mm.
That's a sound system that really promote diamonds in the dance.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, the songs, they used to sell a lot of dub mix from the songs.
Mm-hmm.
So actually, our songs were mostly produced by the sound system in the dance hall.
Mm-hmm. So even with sound system, did you guys ever go sing on any songs, or you guys were more recording and stage show artists at that time there?
No, we were more recording and stage shows. Most of the dancehall thing was being done by DJs.
Mm-hmm. So you guys think there. So then now you guys have this big album here, When the Right Time Comes, and it's also in brackets, I Need a Roof. That was the original name of the album there. So then now you said this is when you guys started to really take off. So where was the first place you guys traveled to as the Mighty Diamonds now?
Well, the first place we went to sing as Mighty Diamonds was in New York, to be exact, in Manhattan, at this place called Hunters College. At that time, you had a DJ on the radio, which was Ken Williams from WLIB. He was a man like this. When he kept bringing you into town, he promote you to the top. So when you come to town, you are big, So when Ken Williams then done with us, when we land in Manhattan and hit Hunters College, man, we were so big.
Mm-hmm.
And the tune was doing well. Right Time album was doing well, along with Bob Marley, Rastaman Vibration album.
Mm-hmm.
And Ken Williams did a good job. But at first, Jojo didn't want us to go to New York, because he didn't want us to know our records were selling.
Okay.
So we went on one night late and called Ken Williams on the radio where he was working in New York. And he said, "Man, I'm trying to get to you guys so long." And Jojo say, "You guys are not coming, you're not interested." And say, "What? We are coming now, tomorrow morning." So he set up the thing and we went there and do the show. And when we do that, we do 2 shows for him. One in Manhattan at Hunters College and one in another place called Colgate Gardens. Mm-hmm. So we were even saying, "Ken, it's just 2 shows. What? And say, "Okay, man, don't worry yourself." And it's since that, man, we can't stand show.
So then after those shows, you went back to Jamaica after those 2 shows in New York?
Yes. And then after that, we were off to England.
How was that?
We did the first thing, we did a big rock festival in England. And in those days, the place in England called Bristol, reggae has never been played. And we went there to play reggae on this big rock festival. We're in Uri.
Okay.
And it was trouble, because when we hit the stage, one side of the public didn't want to hear the reggae, and then the other side wanted to hear what it was like. So we started singing, and one side started flinging rotten eggs and tomato on the stage. But the idea was to get us to run off the stage, but we didn't do that.
Mm-hmm.
We stood there and we sing and sing and sing until we got about 5 encore. And then we got the one side fighting the other side, and we actually came over. The star of the show was a man called Johnny Rotten and the Sex Pistols.
Okay. So at this time here, was Jojo managing the group at this time, or who was the management of the group at this time here now?
Jojo was never a manager for Diamonds. Mm-hmm. What Jojo did was sign the contract with Virgin like a 4th member of the group, but which was illegal. Up to this day, his name is coming on papers, and Jojo, we was never in a group with Jojo. We never sang a song with Jojo. But at the time, the manager was Copeland Forbes.
Mm.
We were the first person who started out with Copeland Forbes as doing group management.
Okay. And you said even Virgin, because I know you guys did one album and then you guys got to Virgin. How did you guys even connect with Virgin in the first place?
Well, what really happened is that when the tune took off, they heard the tune. So actually, the big man himself, Richard Branson, he came to Jamaica and to listen. He listened to the album and he loved it. And he decided to sign the group.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so he came down personally and you guys connected with him personally when he came down.
Yes, he came down, came to Channel 1, Jojo, and listened to the album. Not even in the studio either. He came to Bonnie's house and listened to the album. Mm-hmm. And then he decided to sign the group.
Mm-hmm. And do you think that was the good move for the group at that time there?
Well, yes, at that time, because the Virgin was a big record company who had Janet Jackson and all those big artists, so they started touring the group. Mm-hmm. So what really happened is that they took us to England first. But what happened really after that is that we find out that Virgin wasn't really doing lots of promotion because they find out that they could just sell records. Mm-hmm. So they didn't do a lot of promotion. We actually had us to leave the company. We told them that we wanted to get released from the contract because they're not doing anything for the group.
But you guys recorded, 2 albums for Virgin?
No, we actually recorded 4 albums for Virgin. But what really happened, when we did the first album, mm-hmm. they took us, said Virgin, to New Orleans. Said the New Orleans beat is close to Jamaican beat, so they're going to fuse them together. Mm-hmm. So it was like an experiment. So we said, we don't think that's going to work, so I hope they don't hold us responsible if it don't work. And that's exactly what happened, because when we went there, they said Light Parts was going to come to play. Mm-hmm. So we were there for 2 weeks. They gave us a lot of tapes to some songs from with foreign artists like Lee Darcy and all those people to redo them. So what they really wanted was to do is to get keep their publishing alive, and things. So, well, we took the tapes and we were studying tunes apart from what we had was to sing. So after a while, when they say, okay, so where's Light Parts? They said, Light is coming. So we say, okay, so we're going to go home then. We're not doing this thing. So Copeland came to us and said, okay, gentlemen, we are here already. So let's try it and do it. So what they did, they brought in New Orleans Symphony Orchestra and a band called the Meters, the white band. Mm-hmm. And they played the tunes. Not what was expected, because when we did the Ice and Fire album, that's the only album that Jamaican people don't really approve of, because they started quarreling and say, we don't understand this. The Diamonds had this Wicked Right Time album and then just move from them roots, just straight away and go and do that. So we had us to go back to Channel 1, mm-hmm. where we did the album Stand Up to Your Judgment.
Mm-hmm. This was 78 because I know on 77, that was Ice on Fire that came out for Virgin. And then in 78, Planet Earth came out for Virgin also. But also in 78 is when you did Stand Up to Your Judgment for Channel 1 now.
Right.
So that's when you guys had to basically come back to your roots and really reform it and get it back to where it was before you guys went to Virgin.
Yes, and we did a tune called Deeper Roots, an album. All those tunes we came back to Channel 1 and did them.
Mm-hmm. So then now you guys are back at Channel 1 here now, because I know in this time here, you guys even started to, at least Bunny and Tabby, they started to ras up at this time here. How come you never rassed up at that time? Or I've never really seen you ras up, period.
No, well, that wasn't really my thing, Mm-hmm. Bunny, Tabby chose to dread, I don't know if by chance if Bonnie followed him or what, but that's my perception. But I never did. And actually, they say it's not because you dread that means he's a Rastaman, because
Hmm.
I was the man with about 5 more people with Gadman Tension who started 12 Tribe. I don't know if people didn't even know that.
Okay.
I used to sit around the table with Peter Phillips, the opposition leader of Jamaica right now. We used to sit around table as executive members reading Bible
Hmm.
and talking to people. We all wear gowns. I used to wear the gown of Zebulon, from the tribe of Zebulon. No, a lot of people don't even know that.
No.
But I was the Rasta man in the group, even though I wasn't dread.
But it's just you never really wanted to put on your locks per se.
Right. And even the president of 12 Tribe, he never dread. He wasn't not dread.
Okay. You learn something new every single
Then you see Morgan Heritage came and sing the song. It's not a dreadlocks thing, it's a function of the art.
Mm-hmm. And that's what you believe from time.
Right.
I hear you. Okay, so then now when you guys came back now with the more rootsy album, Stand Up in Your Judgment, how did that do for you guys' career now? Did it now make you guys firm again, or what did it do for you guys?
Yes, we came back. We rebound from the Ice and Fire tragedy and started eating the thing again,
Mm-hmm.
So after a while, when things really didn't work out, the gains wasn't coming really. We weren't actually what the Diamonds made money from was live shows and tours.
Mm-hmm.
The business sector of it wasn't right.
Mm-hmm.
So we didn't make money from that. Even though our publishing people just hang up on it and we're not really making real money. So we are in the process now of doing things to really collect and get what's from the business side of it.
Because I guess you went in just wanting to sing, just wanting to do music, but you didn't really understand the business of the business at that time there.
Right.
Got you. Because I know after Channel One, you guys connected. Was this when you guys connected with Bunny Lee?
No, along the way, we didn't do more about 2 songs for Bunny Lee.
Mm-hmm.
See if I can remember those songs for Bunny Lee. Jaja Bless the Dreadlocks. And another one, I think it's another one called You Better Be Aware.
Mm-hmm.
But actually, we moved on to when we moved from Channel One, we moved up to Joe Gibbs, I think.
Okay.
We didn't have much to do with Joe Gibbs more than we do a remake out for him called Keep On Moving.
Mm-hmm.
And we did Get a Living. Actually, what we did with Joe Gibbs, we had a job to sing harmonies on other people's music. A weekly job.
Even though you guys had the hit records and you guys were a big group, they still brought you in to do harmonies?
Yes, we did that at Joe Gibbs. We had that was a job.
Mm-hmm.
To put harmonies on other people's record. We did a lot of harmonies on Dennis Brown and other people, and then we went to Gussie, Music Works.
How did you, because I know this was even before his label was even before Music Works. I think this was called Gussie Root Sound at that time there, when you guys first got to him.
No, when we went there, it was Music Works, and then it went, and then he had anchor music to it.
Mm-hmm.
But in the early days, Gussie, before Gussie got big, Gussie used to push his motorcycle and sell records.
Mm-hmm.
So we went to Gussie and we did an album called Changes.
And this is where the monster song was on, Kochi.
Right.
How did you guys come up with Kochi?
Well, actually, a lot of people don't even know because we had to tell the story. But what really happened is that Kochi was done for those a dub session, like to make dubs for the sound system.
Mm-hmm.
So what really happened is that Bunny Diamonds came up with the words, pass the Kochi on the left hand side. It got bun, it got done. That was that. And we sang it for making dubs. I went to Gussie and said to him, Gussie, you see that rhythm and thing, so we could make a full song from that. And him say, all right, I'm going to England. So when I get back, come see me and make we get down to it. So when he went to England and came back, I went to him. He gave me the cassette with the music and a little piece of dub thing that Bunny wrote. So I went home with it and I write the rest of the song around it, the body of the song around it, set it to melody, and I arranged it. And we went into the studio and recorded it, and blang, it was an instant hit.
And was this more still sound system, or now you guys started to get on the radio at this time here now?
Oh, well, sound system had a lot to do still. Because the only other song that had versions like Kochi or more than Kochi was like Satamasagana from our senior. Kochi stayed when we did it locally, it stayed on the chart for 52 weeks, a whole year.
Wow.
And then it took off in England and overseas. Then came Musical Youths though, doing a remake, and that's it. It hit the British chart at 16, and then went to number 1.
How did Musical Youths even get involved with that whole situation here to even remake a song like that?
Well, what really happened, I was at the studio at Gussie one day and I get a phone call from Tony Owens. He was then the manager of Musical Youths. And he said to me, Diamond, we're going to do over that tune, So what do you think? I said, no problem, just do what you want, man. And so, okay. So I said, all right, when you finish, you can send us some copy, make we hear and thing. And say, all right. And after that, I got another call from a man in MCA, the company, MCA. I don't know if it was a white person or a black person, but man spoke to me and said that tune, it didn't get any justice. So we want to do justice to it. So I said, okay. And that was it. Tune went on the British chart at 16. And one time I was at the airport picking up somebody and I saw the same man who taught me guitar. And he said, Judge, what you doing here? You should have done England now. In a year, you want to tune. I say, yeah, you say, Musical Youth, it over and it entered the chart at 16. So after that, now at that time we had a white person managing the group from California. His name was Turk Arsenal. And he took us to England to deal with some business with the publishing and tune.
And that worked, and the business part worked out for that song there?
Well, actually, not really. Because what really happened, what I learned about this music business is like when a Jamaican tune hit the British chart, if there's English people there, if they're not making money from it, you can't get none. That's what I discovered. When we went to England, there came a company called Two Peters. They signed publishing with me and Bonnie, and they gave us an advance. And then after that, we heard nothing more from them. Right? When we went to England, we went there and we saw Jackie Mitu in the office cars. They were the musicians who was responsible for playing the music part of it. That song was an instrumental called Full Up. And when we put lyrics on it, nobody called it Full Up anymore. They call it Kochi.
Kochi. So
we went there and saw Jackie Mitu, but children, man, they love them drink and drunk and thing. I mean, the officer try to get money out of them. And then them down the road, and our next publishing officer try to do business with them too. So them get to find out and them never pay him no mind. So what really happened, when we went to the office, I go even book up a old box where I used to listen a box when I was a youth called Terry Downs. I don't know if you ever hear that name.
I've heard that name, yep.
Yeah, he was a good boxer still. But when I went there, he was in the publishing company. So I said, what? All them old boxer man and the power thing right now. So well, anyhow, when we went there, they were having champagne party. So I draw Bonnie one side and said, Bonnie, see what's happening here? Because that's I meet a man through my training and thing, you know. I observe and I see the thing them when them up. So when they say, what? We say, you know, see, a champagne part of the man them a keep. So we say about the tune, no, our tune. Say, yes, so I say, I understand now. You know what that mean? A rob, we are going to get robbing now. And so say, so done.
You've seen it coming.
Yes, so say, so done. The only good money we made from that tune is like from PRS. When you tune go, like them radio and get popular and thing, they play on the radio every minute. PRS collect for airplay and you get paid. So that's the most money we get from it is from PRS.
Because that was such a world massive song where not only England, Canada, US, everywhere, that was a huge song.
Yes.
Okay, so then this is around the time then where you guys met Donovan Germain around this time here with the revolutionary songs.
No, well, Donovan Germain don't really have nothing to do with the revolutionary sounds. Revolutionary sounds came from Channel 1 with Sly and Ranchy and all those people. Then came Robbie and all those other people. Now, Donovan Germain is a man in the business where I don't have no credit for him. He's not a good man.
What happened now?
We brought him back on his foot. I don't know what happened to him, but he was broke down. He came to me, not even the group, and he said, Diamonds, I beg on our life. I remember exact words like it was yesterday. So Diamonds are begging on our life. They mash me up. Say, yeah, man, no problem. And we took him in the studio and we sang Heads of Government for him, which brought him back on his foot up to this day. Then after that came people like Buju Banton and all those other people. And Jermaine made a lot of records. We even did the song called Kinaki, which I wrote. Which was our production. Jermaine pirated it and he sell it. And Jermaine had never ever paid me $1 for anything. You see, so I don't really have much good things to say about Jermaine. But Gussie now is a different person. Gussie is a man where Gussie don't kill the goose that lay the goal leg. See, Gussie will make you live, but boy, Jermaine, very crucial.
But at this time,
you pay the diamonds for nothing.
So at this time here, you guys didn't have management taking care of those type of things there?
The only manager we ever had was that white man that I told you about, which was a good man. But because we know the nature of how these Jamaicans say they are managers, we didn't bother with any. It didn't make sense. After Copeland, we never bother with any more managers.
How long was Copeland Forbes with the group for?
Copeland Forbes was with the group from when we make Right Time till a couple of years later down the road. After he left us, then he went amongst Peter Touch. And from then on, I think Copeland managed almost every group.
Crazy, but you guys really gave me this break. But I know even in the 70s here, before I have some stuff I want to go to in the 80s, you guys had a role in the movie Rockers, but you guys didn't have no music in the movie though?
No, because what really happened, Rockers, it was the Diamonds who was supposed to do Rockers. No people don't even know that. And what really happened is that time Copeland was managing the group, but when the people came and was searching for Copeland, he was far away in Australia. And then all of a sudden we hear that, well, it's Leroy Wallace who's going to be doing the movie and the star of the movie. So they called us and gave us a little stint in the movie. At first we wasn't going to do it, but somebody said, okay, do it, man, do it. So we did it. The stint there, you notice we did it. A little stint inside of the welding shop. If you watch the movie.
Yes. Because that's what I realized. I said, okay, you guys are in there in the welding shop, and as you said earlier, that's what Bunny and Tabby they did in real life before they actually got into singing. But I always wondered, like, okay, you guys are acting in it. How come your music is not in it? And you just answered that.
You see, that's what really happened, because we were supposed to be the stars of the movie, but it didn't work out that way. So it was they chose Leroy Wallace, our Smoke, the drummer.
And that was the only movie that you guys were ever in?
Well, actually, after that, Yeah, that was the only movie. We got that script for another movie. It was to be. I know you know. I don't know if you know of the movie called Mighty Queen
Of course, with Denzel
with Denzel
Washington.
Washington.
Yes.
Well, we were supposed to be in that movie, but what really happened? The movie was supposed to be named Finding Marby.
Mhm.
It was a brother who called Marby that they accused him for a murder that he didn't do.
Mhm.
So when they were doing the auditions at Ward Theatre, we went there, and out of the blue sky, I said to Tabby, make we sing Keep On Moving.
Mhm.
And then we were singing Keep On Moving. So the white man a pint on the way and say, yeah, that tune fits what they really, what the movie was really made up of. Because I'd say, I've been accused for a killing God know I didn't do. So that was what with Marby. They accused him for a killing that he didn't do. So they gave us a big script and we wrote the theme song, Finding Marby. I wrote the song. And Light Parks recorded the song at Channel Run Studio. But for some reason or another, we never heard back from them. And then when the movie came out now as Mighty Queen,
Mhm.
we saw Sharon Lee Ralph, Rita Marley, and her daughters in the movie singing Keep On Moving. So actually, we put two and two together and realized what happened there.
Mhm.
See, they cut us out of the movie and then they did what they want to do. So we didn't say anything. We just love that. They never even get paid for the audition. You see this business, you have a lot of people who do some derogatory things, but we just hold our vibes and just continue,
Mhm.
Never make nothing bad away.
This
We
is
never really know what happened, but we just know that we got the script for study and then we never hear nothing again from the people until the movie came out and the movie was named now Mighty Queen, the Mighty Queen. And then we saw people performing the song that we sing for the audition. And that was that.
this is why I like to have these kind of conversations, stuff that happened, but there's always a lot of things that didn't happen that a lot of people don't know about. And I mean, that's very interesting because I know around this time here too, you guys did some work with Lee Scratch Perry also.
Okay, yes, we in the early days we did some song of Lee Scratch Perry and I used to lead one and two tunes at the time. And I sing a tune for Scratch called Talk About It. And we actually did a big song with Susan Cadogan. It was a remake called Earth So Good. That went on the British chart and did well for Susan. So Susan loved the Diamonds very much. We sang that tune with her and it went to the British chart, #1. So she went to England and she lived there for quite a long time before she came back to Jamaica.
The thing with it, it seems like a lot of your massive hits had a lot to do with England at one time.
Yeah. English people love the Diamonds,
Mhm.
Japanese, French. Diamonds I always love all over.
Because I know you guys even went back, did some more work with Gus. You guys put out a couple more albums, but at this time, this was the first time I seen you guys actually record stuff for your band member Bunny, which was on Bad Gong Records, and you guys had
Yes, Bunny had a label called Bad Gang.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, he took the name from the inspiration from Tough Gang, called the label Bad Gang.
And I know you guys had put out an album, but this album here had Kutchi on it again this time. But this was a couple years later that you guys.
Yes, we did. We did an album. I don't remember, but we did Kutchi on it too. Bunny do a few production with the group.
So at that time, you guys decided to form your own label and start putting out your own music at one time.
Yes, but the only thing with Bunny used to produce, they produce a couple songs that albums with the Diamonds, but for some reason he was never able to make a hit tune with the Diamonds. I don't know why. If it's because from the production, I mean the producer side of it, because even from the producer side of it, you have to make a name and certain things have to happen. So I don't know. But from that angle, we didn't make a hit tune with Bunny.
Mm-hmm. This time here, you guys done a lot of stuff. This is bringing you guys up to the 80s where you guys are doing a lot of stuff here. Now, you guys been together for what? How easy or how hard was it to actually keep the group together?
Well, this question has been asked so many times, not even me. know how we stay together. It was really work on God because human beings, and from time to time you have arguments, you have problems, you have troubles, but what we did, we never really make that get in the way of the music. Even if we have any arguments amongst one another, like when it's time for the music, we put aside the differences and we do what we have to do. You know? And whenever we really have this problem, like anybody vexing them one another and I keep up this malice thing and argument start and it run a few minutes and then I'm on us back to normal again, and that was that. It's not really easy, but we did it.
Mm-hmm. Because you guys were together for like over 50 years.
Well, it's past 50 years. It was past 50. It had reached about 52 since the tragedy now with Bonnie and Tabby.
Mm-hmm. That's crazy. I know you guys even recorded a album for, who did you guys record for first? Russ Records or Mango Records?
Russ Records, I think, we did an album for Russ Records, and I think then Mango, Moment of Truth. That album was done at Tough Gang, produced by Mikey Coos from England.
Mm-hmm. So how come you guys only did one album for Mango at that time? Because Mango is like they're a subsidiary of Island Records.
Right, but we only did one album, and it came about because of Mikey Coos. But for some reason, I don't think Island had loved the Diamonds. They didn't like the Diamonds.
Why you say that?
No, because at one time we and Chris Blackwell had an altercation. I don't know if Chris Blackwell was trying to smash up Diamonds or what, but we were on the road. Most time we were on the road about 2 different times. They say, boy, they're interested in the Diamonds, but they only want the lead man. So we rushed them away and said, what do you think? You don't want the lead man, so what? So we never went into that. And one at a time, Chris Blackwell came to Jamaica. And he was asking for a diamond. So somebody told us that. And this person who told us that, we know he wasn't telling any lie. He said Chris Blackwell asking for diamond. So at the time it was Sheraton, the name of the hotel was Sheraton, New Kingston. I took Bonnie and we went to Sheraton just in time to see Chris Blackwell coming out of the lobby. And we approached him and said, Mr. Blackwell, so you're asking for diamond. And he said, no, I'm not asking for the diamond. So I said to him, so you mean to tell me that all those persons that tell you say you're asking for diamonds, you're trying to say it's not like that. So why did they tell us that? So we realized he was maybe still after the same incident, like he wanted to get Tabby. So me and Bonnie, we rush him away, we run him. So it's not because you use a millionaire, you think you can just come and just do what you want. The people have them things farmed together. Well, what they wanted, they always, what they did, these people doing are not for them. What they came amongst a group, what they do is they take out the lead singer and they do what they want to do. If you notice when the group started, it was Wailers. And after that, they named it Bob Marley and the Wailers. It was Metals. Then they call it Toots and the Metals. One at a time, somebody came to us and said we should call the group Little Donald Shaw and the Diamonds. I said, why are you telling me that? I said, this is the Diamonds. I said, no man is going to make him personal name amongst me. I work and help him make him personal name and then him walk with it. I said, this is the Diamonds. I said, why you didn't say Little Light Ferguson and the Diamond? So him could answer. So I said, watch, this is the Diamond. And then they had the Mighty to it. So anytime they decided to split the group, they started separating, Little Donald Shaw and the Diamonds. And then, the lead man gone. They took him. That's how they used to do these things. Enough people don't know.
But
so for that reason, I don't think Chris Blackwell really liked the Diamonds or even Island then, because we did shoot that album, Moment of Truth, was because of Mikey Coos. Maybe he forced them and got money from them and produced the album. And you notice the album never do anything because they don't promote. They're not interested in them.
It was just because of Mikey Cruz is why you got it through there, but that was it. Nothing really happened.
Right. And it was a good album.
Talking about Bob Marley, did you guys ever perform or record or be in the same studio with Bob Marley and the Wailers or any of them at the same time?
Not in the same studio, but we worked the same show, Sunsplash and Montically. But it was my friend, it was a person that we know well. We used to there when place at the time sometime and think. We know all them children them well, like Ziggy and them, you know. We are good friends.
It's a Trenchtown connection because there's also people like Joe Higgs, Garth Dennis, and a lot more people that came from Trenchtown.
Okay, because what happens that we were the person who took Joe Higgs to California and he just lived there and then he came back.
So that was a connection with Joe Higgs from a long time ago.
Yes. When the white man was managing our group, we and Joe Higgs went to do a tour there for it. So that's when Joe Higgs came to California and he didn't come back to Jamaica.
Got you there. So then now connecting with Ras Records, I think that's Judge Dredd over there. How did you guys connect and how was that over there recording the album for Ras now?
The Ras Records came about because of publisher that we deal with up to today, called Mark Antoine. He was the one who got us a deal with Ras Records for an album. The album was produced by Mighty Diamonds.
Okay.
And that's the best deal we have ever gotten for an album in terms of advance.
So it was only one album you guys did for us?
Yes, only one.
How come only one?
Well, I don't know. Ras Records never really seek recording from the Diamonds. We approached him with our album. And the deal was tied up between him and the publisher.
Got you. Because I know you guys did a lot of work with Greensleeves also. They put out a lot of your music too.
Well, not we did the work with Greensleeves. Gussie gave him those things. Gussie Clarke gave Greensleeves whatever he got.
Okay, so those works were through Gussie Clarke there. So would you say Gussie Clarke, basically, that was some of the best times of the Diamonds would have been with Gussie Clarke?
In terms of person to person, like humanitarian, Gussie is good. Like I say, Gussie, he don't kill a goose that lays the goal leg. Gussie will make you survive. But man like Jeremy and them people, no. Jojo never paid us for nothing. All them songs here, Right Time, Have Mercy, I Need a Roof Over My Head. People think we make millions from that. Jojo, Channel 1, they paid us nothing. What we got money from was doing live shows. Jojo can show you one receipt to ever pay you if not.
So when you...
Jojo call you, and it might give you $1,500 and for the whole year. You know, get another cent from him. And in those days, you sell 60,000 copies, 145 in 3 weeks. No man at all about tune when it's selling 2,000 copies. 60,000 copies in 3 weeks. The Jojo, they pay us for nothing. But people don't really know. So they thought that the Diamonds supposed to be rotten rich. And actually, all they do is they sell the thing and keep the money for themselves. And pay us, they didn't give us our own.
Is this something now where I guess your publishers or whoever is dealing with your business, they're looking into stuff like that, right?
Yes.
Because those are some massive amount of super work that you guys did there, especially that first album. That's till this day, those are classical hits.
Yes, sir.
Was there, because I know at one time, and I think it was 2015, Bunny had gotten sick. And you guys had another band member on the road at that time there?
Yes, when Bunny took sick and we brought in this virgin from Florida. So he was there. And in the early song at the time, you know, when Tabby, I used to have some travel problems and don't get him visa, like I used to go on the road with Ken Bob and Bunny Diamonds.
Okay.
And see, so I do a couple tours without Tabby.
So it was always all three of you guys, but sometimes I guess because of traveling and stuff like that, you'd have to bring somebody else on the road.
Yeah, but when Capo came, no, it was me, Tabby, and Capo. Because Bunny had taken sick.
What had happened to Bunny at that time there?
Bunny had a stroke. And he couldn't go on the road. And unfortunately, he never really gets to come back to the group.
He didn't get to come back. So was he sick leading up to the stroke, or the stroke was just something that happened one day out of the blue?
No, it just happened one day. He was driving out of a parking lot and he got the stroke. But he recovered and thing, and he was fully sensible and even up to his death. But I think what my knowledge are, I think, is that when he heard of Tabby tragedy, then that's what took him out, you know? The shock.
Yeah.
He got another stroke.
Okay, so
I think that was the third one.
That was the third one. So I guess he couldn't stand up, or he couldn't sing, or it was just best for him not to go on the road after he had.
No, what really happened, he was to be in a wheelchair now because he couldn't walk. But at first it wasn't like that. He was coming on, and I don't know. Seemed like things take a turn for the worse, because then no, he had also go in a wheelchair, not walking no more. That was the problem.
Okay, so then the first member that actually got sick was Bunny. So then it left you, Tabby, and Capone on the road doing all this stuff. Did you guys actually record an album with Capone also?
Capo? Oh no, we didn't record an album with Capo. We never did any recording with Capo.
So it was always at this time there, it was always you and Tabby doing the recording.
Yes, the last album, we had a new album. We had finished half of it. It was just me and Tabby. We had finished about 5 songs. So, and then the tragedy came about.
Before we even get to the tragedy, there's one highlight that I wanted to highlight. In 2021, you guys received the Order of Distinction. How did it feel to receive that type of honor from Jamaica?
Well, it felt good, but knowing that we should have gotten it years ago, but you know, it came true. Good to it came before the man them passed, you know. So that was that. But it was good because it's really stemmed like a milestone. It's an achievement. Where there's just like not anybody will really get it. I can get it. He had also really do something, you know, and be qualified for such, you know.
For sure.
So I look at it in that way.
Let's get into this stuff here now with Tabby. When was the last time before the incident happened where you had a conversation with Tabby?
And the same day it happened. I spoke with Tabby. Yes. We had a tour to do in Africa. So he called me and asked for passport particulars and what have you, and I gave it to him. That was about 1 o'clock in the day. Then about 9:40 in the night, I got a call from my daughter, my biggest daughter. Say if I don't hear the news, and I say, what news? Say, boy, we just hear that Tabby got shot up and he's dead. You know, the shock took me, but the good thing I was strong enough to withstand it, because I expect fear, not like that. And so I was silent for a while, and my daughter said, Daddy, you there? You there? I say, yes, I am here. Just a try to comprehend what you just said to me. I just hope say it's not true. So I even said to her, I said, well, so then carry him to the hospital. I'm just hope say, no, it's not true. But the reality came on later, so it was really true. Then about 3 days down the road, then comes Bunny. Like a back-to-back thing, you know? One tragedy and one sick.
How did that make you feel, knowing that these are people that you grew up with? You're in a group with them for 52 years. How did that make you feel, not even as a group member, just as an individual, a person?
It it is a devastation where I don't know how much people get the experience like that where I get. And none of the two man them family don't get the experience with me get because and the man them work together for 50 years and for those years so the two of them just die like that, one behind the other. It's the strangest thing ever. And see, I couldn't even comprehend it. It was me tired of stuff I try to do, even think about certain things, there are certain vibes. At one time, they wanted us to do the funerals in one. I was just hoping that they didn't do that.
How come?
Because if they had both of them at one funeral and the two caskets there in front of me, I don't know how I would take that. So I prefer it was to go one after the other. Well, the family didn't want that to happen, like together thing, so they did it one after the other. So that was kind of a little easier for me. Because I work with them two man for 50 years and then now I get come stand up in front of them, I sing over them in a casket for them. Nobody really would have get the shot where I get or the experience where I get. Only me that happened to.
I definitely understand. Is there a special moment, a memory, conversation that you had, one with Bunny, one with Tabby, that you'll never forget? One special one. I know you guys had a million, but one that stands out in your mind forever.
Well, I can't think of a memory right now where, because we have been through so many things, you know, from time to time. But one thing that stand out in my mind was the first show we did at the Hunters College, first time leaving Jamaica, and you know the reception, and we met a lot of people who migrated before us, was in America that we grew up with before us, and they all surfaced to see what was happening, and we came back together like a family, you know. So. Well, my fond memories is like that first show that we did in Hunters College years ago.
That sticks out in your mind the most. And is there something that Tabby said to you one time that you'll never forget, or even Bunny said to you that you'll never forget? Just what? It could have been so small, just something.
Well, not really, you know, not really. Because like the vibes with Tabby, like going up doing music together, most of the time we don't really see Tabby, you know. We don't really see one another.
Okay.
And you know that a group supposed to rehearse. Like I said, really God put this together and keep it, you know, because group supposed to rehearse, and from we make the first hit tune and thing, you know. This group I don't rehearse again, you know, because Tabby don't really in fit. We just have to meet and sing.
I know when you're in a trio, there's three people, everybody brings their own part to the table and all that. So then now that the two members have passed, what's the next move for the Diamonds? Is there another move, or where are you with this whole situation right now?
Well, I do a couple of interviews and they all ask what my intention, you know. I say, well, my intention is to move on with the legacy. You see, so my intention, and right now I'm in the process of getting people together, but you know, it has to be like professional, experienced people, because the Diamond, we can't be like come less than what we was, like, you know, below par or anything like that. So it has to be real good. So that's what I'm working on right now. But pretty soon, because I really identified some people already and we are working. So pretty soon, I will disclose, you know, and get on with it. I will disclose who they are pretty soon and then get on with whatever.
Good. The good thing with it is that, as you said, you're preserving the legacy and you're moving forward with the legacy, because a group with 52 years, feet on the ground, that's a lot of legacy right there, boss.
Yes.
You understand. 46 or 47 albums you guys recorded together?
Actually, I think it's 47. Yeah.
47. What would you say are your favorite 3 albums that you guys recorded?
Favorite 3 albums?
Mm-hmm.
What I 47, well, the first one I know will be Right Time.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, I can't say for any other, you know, because there's so much of them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, sometimes I hear some songs I have to listen because I say, oh, that's a diamond. I did not even me, you remember that it was a diamond. Till I started hearing it and say, oh, that's not true. But it's so many. You have an album with about 20 odd songs in one album.
Mm-hmm. No, that's crazy. The legacy of the Diamonds, what you guys done, what you guys bring to the table, the tours, the shows everywhere. Is there any country that you guys haven't been to as a group yet?
Well, we have been to all the places that reggae is popular.
Mm-hmm.
And in America, the only place we have not been is Alaska.
Yeah.
But we have been everywhere, all over Europe, Eastern Europe, Japan, Brazil, Mexico, everywhere. And we've been some places in the Caribbean, but we have never done a Caribbean tour like an island have. Never, ever.
Okay. Big. You've had this career from 1969 till right now. What would you say would have been the highest point in your career so far?
The highest point in terms of?
In terms of feeling good, everything is working, we're flowing, the energy is right. The highest point in your career.
Well, I would say, well, the highest point in my career is like when I really see things move and we travel all over and everything just right and they just feel good.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and say, well, Diamonds, it was fitting to be here, or, you know, to do the work then.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because it actually came true. What we were working for came true. It paid off. You know?
Perfect right there. Last one I have for you. What is Mr. Judge's legacy? When it's all said and done, what do you want your legacy to be?
Well, when I think about what I want people to feel about me, like, and to know about me, the person that I really am. Mm-hmm. I am a gentle, humble, easy person to get along with. Like, if you watch my face, you might get thrown off because the Father gave me a face to protect myself. Mm. You know that I am a soft-hearted person, so He gave me a face that when the wicked see me, they might stay away. But if you get close to me and get to know me, you see that I'm a good person. Mm-hmm. You know? So I would like my legacy to be like people to know me for the person that I am. I'm a pure-hearted person. I have no enemies. Mm-hmm. There's not a second man that I think that I don't like or I have a hang up or any problems with anyone. I am pure in heart. I wish for the love of the world, everybody to live in love and share what we have here on earth. What is the fight? Nothing you bring in this world, nothing you can take out. See, so why we can't live in peace and live in love and share the world that the Lord has provided for us? You know, I don't understand why. You can't carry with nothing. So why you want to gain the whole world and lose your own soul? You know, people should get them heart pure, get cleansed. Pure in heart, for they shall see God. You have to be pure. Why you running down the world material luxury? You can't carry away nothing from here. I gave a speech in Spain, and all those people stand up and give me a standing ovation, and I tell them what you're doing. Red, pink, white, black, or blue, what you're fighting for. Nothing belongs to you. All that a man have is what he's holding until such time. And it when the works that way, with one side having so much and the other side having none. It only works that way because of the way our man does it. But God didn't say it should have been working that way. God make people to live in love and share the world and praise Him. You know? That's why I really think about the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
I have no enemies that I think say I don't like or I don't like this man or that woman. No, I don't have that.
Mm-hmm. Listen, if there's one thing I've learned in this conversation is that it's really just because you don't have the locks, that 100% does not mean that you're not a Rasta. And I'm leaving this conversation calling you Rasta Judge. That's what I'm calling you leaving this conversation. You understand?
Right.
Mm-hmm. Now, man, it was very insightful, very open, and even your memory's amazing to remember these stuff from in the 60s, 70s, 80s, and doing so much too. You understand?
Yeah.
Mr. Judge, thank you so much. And I gotta big up Spliffy Red, Gold, and Green for actually making this conversation happen between the two of us here. You understand?
Okay.
All right. Is there like a website or anything they could check out where they could see what's going on with the Diamonds, where they could check out who the new members are going to be when you announce it and stuff like that?
Well, I think we have a Facebook page and I think we have things to put out on YouTube also, so it will be easy. They will know what's going on.
All right. I'll add the Facebook information so people could see it, so people could check it out. But Mr. Judge, thank you so much for sitting down and doing this with me today.
Yeah, man, my pleasure. Yeah.
Definitely. Big up yourself. Let me give you an outro and get you out there because this conversation, amazing. I've learned so much. I knew some, but after this conversation, I realized I didn't know any. But I've learned a lot in this one.
Okay.
All right, Mr. Judge. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is Muscle, and this has been another Two Line Music Hut's Entertainment Report podcast, and we are out. This podcast is brought to you by www.twolinemusichut.com.